What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Automatic Patient Podcast. I am your co-host today, Jordon Comstock. With me, as usual, Dr. Dan Nelson. What is up, brother? How you doing?
Dude, it's podcast day today.
Podcast day.
I'm just recording podcasts all day.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
we did our Elevation Association Experience podcast earlier and
Great.
jumping on this one. I think this will be my last one today, but it's little screen time, little audio time.
I like podcast days. They're fun days to hang out with people and just talk about the
Yes,
industry and
we're just
hopefully
chatting,
hopefully help our friends in dentistry.
no doubt.
So today, Dan, what's the agenda? What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I mean, if someone's following this, these podcasts, they know that we've been talking about the exiting, how to exit effectively become a fee for service practice, right? And
Yeah,
exit insurance. And there's a lot that goes into it. Last time we were chatting a bit about, what does it look like? How do you go about actually doing it? What's the methodology on it? And today I want to kind of build on that, and I want to talk a little bit about what's going on within the industry, and also give some real world application of some systems, some techniques and whatnot, some to-dos and don't do's within your office. We see a lot of working with a lot of practices. We see a lot of workarounds, and I'm going to address that and how not to do that. Workarounds are
sure.
bad. But yeah, hopefully equip everyone listening with a few more tools on building up to getting to that fee for service status.
Yeah. So let's start with the income data you're seeing in the industry.
So
Uh,
yeah, this is pretty fascinating. What we've watched is that the dentist income, the owner, like the actual dentists themselves, the income has gone down, not up. So if we track median income across the board for dentists, we see that, and I get it, there's some associate pay in here that's going to affect this, but also you have to
sure.
account for the DSO associate pay, which has actually gone up. So just this is taking
Interesting.
all that into account. So
Yeah.
this is associate pay, owner pay, all of it, right? In 2010, the median income was 216,000. In 2020, so 10 years later, and I get it, this is 6-year-old data. I don't have anything
Yeah.
up to date for 2026, but as of 2020, it's decreased. It went down to 205,000. And we know that it's actually gone down. The trend has not changed. It hasn't swung up. It's a
Yeah.
continual trend. If we watch the line, it's a slow decrease, not increase. And in addition to that, we're seeing inflation and debt have gone up. So we're
Yeah.
coming out of school with more debt. We're getting buried deeper when we are buying practices. Our overhead and operational costs have gone up, and that's all affecting our income. And
Yeah.
a lot of this is tied to insurance, and you can tie it directly back to insurance and go, the reason that we're seeing that the median income for dentists has
Declining.
gone down, yeah, that it's declining, is because reimbursements are stagnant or declining. So as your overhead increases and your reimbursements either are stagnant or declining, it affects your bottom line income.
Yeah.
So that money's got to come from somewhere. So effectively, you are now paying from your bank account, your own piggy bank, to be a part of these insurance companies. They are literally stealing your income because they're not compensating at all for increased overhead costs.
No.
They haven't even compensated for inflation.
Yeah, which is insane. That's been brutal. And I think it's like we're in another round of it, right? Of high inflation currently. It's just like, geez, this is getting insane. So your dollars today are worth less and less.
Totally.
And then if you're in contract with too many insurance companies, you're getting less and less. So it's like your power of cash is like it's not good. It's
No.
being reduced.
Oh, totally.
That's a
Yeah.
big and it's almost silently like it's people don't aren't looking at that as much, right?
Well,
I would
and here's the
imagine.
other thing that sucks about this is that what's happening is that if you look at the income, most dentists are living in that top tax bracket, but you're at the bottom end of the top tax bracket. So not only are you
Okay.
getting beat up on your income, now you're at the bottom end of the tax bracket and you're getting hammered on taxes as well. So it's just the perfect storm. It is not good right now. And I mean, I think you could speak to this better than I could, Jordan, but
Yeah.
the exact numbers are difficult to know for sure. But about 3 out of 4 dental offices are in network with at least one dental insurance company. So 75% of offices are still in network. So they're being
Yeah.
affected. 3 and 4 are being affected by what's going on. And that's why we're seeing that decline so sharply in income.
Okay, here's let's look at this. Out of the practices that aren't in network, is the median income increasing?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. We should look into that because it
Yeah.
would make sense. I mean, you're destined. We're going to get into this a little bit, but the big difference is like, and this is where office managers get tripped up, is that you can increase your fees, right? And you should
Yeah.
increase your fees, right? You should keep up with inflation. You should be
Every
increasing. Don't
year.
just
Yeah.
do an arbitrary 2% increase each year. Don't do that. Follow the market trend
Follow the market. Yeah.
and increase your fees accordingly. We can help with that. If you want to know how much to increase, just contact us. We will
That's
actually
cool.
do zip code pricing for our members every year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so, so follow market trend, follow the inflation trend. And the big difference is if you figure, okay, what percentage of my practice is PPO, right? So, and depending on the region that you're in, the state you're in, a lot of them are really high. Some are as high as 90%, where their cash or non-PPO patients only make up 10% of their practice. Well, that's obviously you're going to feel that effect. And where office managers get tripped up is they're like, well, I don't want to increase fees because then we get reimbursed the same. So it doesn't matter. And that
Oh, got it.
mentality, they get locked in that mentality. It's really frustrating
That's
because
dangerous mentality.
it completely is because it locks you in a loop. Matter of fact, it's we have two big commandments at EA that we instill in every client that we have. And the first is thou shalt not zero out any treatment codes or procedures.
Sweet.
It,
Yes.
and the reason, don't zero it out ever. You can't, it happens all the time. Is that let's say that your sister comes in and she needs a crown and you're like, okay, and we're not going to charge her for that, and so someone in the
Sure.
front of the office just puts a zero on there and zeros it out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now as soon as that
That's pretty
zero
common,
hits,
huh?
yeah, oh, it's unbelievably common. And the problem now is that you just put a zero and you can no longer see what you just read, or
Wrote
what you
off.
wrote off there. So, like at our office at Wood River Dental, we actually have a metric that we check every week, and that's redos, charity,
Yeah.
and family. And we actually track because that can get out of control. We
It,
had
you
in
have to
20,
you have to have, I would imagine, some guardrails to protect that, or that gets wacky real fast.
yeah. I mean, for us, just within our practice in 2024, for some reason, October and November of 2024, we started looking at it. We wrote off like 20 grand in family work. What is happening? Like we did so much freaking work on family. And well, you're like, oh, well, that's great. Well, it's great, except that in those 2 months, we had a lot of appointments that were zero producing appointments. And so that's
Yeah.
not so great. Not that I'm not saying don't treat your family, but just track it. And so you can go,
Well,
maybe we need to spread these out a little bit
w-
better.
well, and then let's be actually honest with this. Like, yes, you want to help out family. Like, I totally get that. We help out family all the time, and I mean, family's not buying membership software, so I'm not talking about that. I'm thinking more like my Hawaii condo, right? Because family wants to use it all the time. Like, what? Can you
Yeah.
give me a discount? It's like, well, it costs money to operate. It's not just free for me.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I'm happy to give you a discount, but not at the expense of the business.
Right.
Right. And then you
Exactly.
have to think that way too within your practice, right? I'm happy to give you a discount because you're family, but not at you have to have guardrails around it so you don't disrupt your own company, right? Or
Exactly.
your
Yeah.
own
And,
practice.
you don't know the impact if you're not tracking it, right?
Okay. So zeroing out, you start flying blind and you don't know you don't know the production or the write-off
You
when
just
you do that.
screwed up. You'd skewed a huge data set of your practice, and it can come from anywhere from like maybe it's a charitable, you're doing some pro bono work, or you've taken on, a contract with a local nonprofit that you do
Sure.
charity or whatever it is. The tendency for the front office sometimes is the path of least resistance when it comes to this stuff.
Zeroed out.
And they just boom, hit a zero on it. And now you can no longer track that
You
data.
can no longer track it. You look after a month, you look back in 30 days and you're like, what happened? We don't know. We literally don't know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it does. It leaves a black hole as you're trying to.
So how
And I
should
get it. That's the assumption that people are tracking their data, which you should be.
yeah, yes. So how should a practice be operating with this concept here?
Okay, so there's that leads to the second. I call it the
Their
second
second
great
commandment.
commandment. Yeah,
Yeah.
not as great, but still great
Yeah,
commandment. Yeah, there's
yeah.
12 now. And this one is, thou shalt not adjust your fees to match that of the insurance companies
Got
ever.
it. Yeah.
And we see this happen. This is more common than zeroing out. This is
Really?
oh my gosh, yes, because again, it's the same mentality. And the mentality is this, is that, well, they're only going to reimburse us what they reimburse us anyway. So
So if
why
the
bother?
so for like we'll just use easy math for like $1,000 crown, they're not even putting $1,000. They're just saying "Oh, the insurance company is going to pay $400, so we're just going to do 400."
Yes. And they adjust their fee down to that. So now you've stripped the
So
ability to track that write-off. You have
yeah,
no idea.
but that what does that do to the insurance companies too when they see
Oh,
that?
yeah. Well, so every year insurance audit your specific area. They do this
Yeah.
across the country, right? So they do audits on
Gosh,
fees.
you got IRS audits that happen and insurance audits in dental industry. Jeez.
Well, this is the sneaky behind the scenes kind of audit. And what
Got
they
it.
do, they're privy to this information because offices will submit claims all the time. And on the
Yeah.
claim, it says what our fee is, right?
Yeah.
And then they will come back and say, well, this is our negotiated reimbursement. And so let's say that your fee, we'll stay with the easy numbers that you just said.
Yeah, just easy numbers.
Let's
I
say
know it's
that
not accurate, just it's
well, I mean, I'm going to joke and not joke that in Utah, where you're located,
that's
it's
probably
one of the worst states.
it is.
This is one of the worst states that we see this happen in.
Oh yeah, I'm very well aware.
Okay, yeah. So for all you Utah listeners, I'm sorry, but
Sorry.
this is a tough truth.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm from Utah. I get it. That's where I'm from originally.
Yeah.
But let's just say that the fee is $1,000 for a crown, which in Utah is not actually that far from the truth. Um,
Yeah.
so
And 10 years ago it was the same.
yeah, it's 15 years ago it was the same,
That's
right?
my memory from the dental lab days, dude.
Yep,
And that's
yep,
been
still
over
the
10
same.
years.
So let's say you're charging that your fee for your office is $1,000 for a crown, and let's say that the insurance reimbursement is 400.
Hmm.
Then your office goes, well, I can't be bothered with all this extra paperwork, which by the way, there's not much paperwork, but they go into their Open Dental or their EagleSoft or whatever, and they then create a separate fee structure. This is how bad it's getting. We see this way too much. We've seen it where they will actually create a separate fee structure for each of the big insurances that they take. So when they go to put in a code, it will pull the fee of the reimbursement, not the actual normal fee. So the $1,000 fee,
Uh-huh.
instead, it replaces it with a $400 fee. So they
Yeah.
don't have to mess around and do any of the write-offs and reconciliations at the end of the day. Well, what that does, it does two things. It will, as the insurance companies, now you submit that claim and it says our fee is $400 because they're using this weird adjusted fee schedule that they've created, which is a
Yeah,
huge no-no.
jeez.
So insurance companies get that and they're like, great, we're reimbursing at 100% for this office. And they're like, we've done a great job. Look how good we are. What
Yeah.
motivation do they have to increase fees? None. Zero.
None.
They are, in their
Because
minds,
in their eyes,
reimbursing
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, in their eyes, they're doing a service for their subscribers. And
Yeah.
that's how they would look at it.
Yeah. And
So,
And they can come to you and say, actually, in your area, we reimburse it 100%.
So you're not only hurting your practice, you're hurting the practice around you in the same zip code or zip
Yes.
codes.
And this is the
Interesting.
frustrating thing. If you go to negotiate rates, right? Let's say that it's Blue Cross or someone that you can negotiate with. It's whoever, Aetna or whatever. And you go to them and you say, well, we want to negotiate. And then they look at the averages in your area and they're like, well, why would we negotiate? We're actually paying it 90% of the
90%.
rate.
Yeah. Oh,
So
jeez.
you've neutered your office, you've neutered your area, you're affecting the other
Oh
offices in your
man,
area.
this is a bigger problem than you'd think
Oh, it's huge.
across the every zip code.
Yep. And what if again, the insurance companies have no motivation now. And if you zero out a code, right? If you zero code and they look at averages, that's one of the reasons you don't zero a code out as well.
Yeah.
It's going to drop your fee average down.
So it's giving you bad data and it's giving the insurance company uh I mean
Yes.
essentially bad data, but
Yes.
they look at it as good because it's like we're
Uh-huh.
100% we're helping.
Yeah. It's such a bad trap. And the crappy thing about all this, Jordan, is
Shit.
that most of the dentists don't know that their front office is doing this. They have no
So
idea.
that's even a bigger problem because there's no it sounds like there's I mean if you're going to operate an insurance company as like a director or a COO, you have to have credentials and training. Do you think in the dental space, I mean, I see this all the time. When I was at the dental lab, I remember like, oh, we lost our office manager, so we just promoted our assistant to be the office manager. I'm sure you see that too. So there's like no training and there's no criteria. I literally was on a call the other day with a dentist that's a friend of mine here in Utah that was looking for an office manager, and he was looking to hire somebody that worked here at BoomCloud at one point in time. So he called me and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about it." And he asked, would this person be a good office manager? I'm like, no. Maybe a good assistant or like receptionist, but not an office manager, right? And too often, um, practice owners are hiring the wrong people and then hoping they figure it out.
Oh yeah. So that's so funny you just brought that up. And we
Yeah.
and we did not, Jordan and I did not talk about this beforehand. This is
No,
totally
no,
off the
this we
cuff.
just know the industry.
Yeah. So I kid you not, my Jared and mine podcast that we recorded earlier today was
Today.
on that topic.
That's so
So
funny.
yeah, like we just talked about the right people in the right seats and everything that goes
Yeah,
along with
well,
that.
and that's a bigger problem than we think in the dental space because well, it is hard to recruit people. Recruiting's hard. Like I recruit people all
Yeah.
the time for my company. Like it's hard, it's draining. Finding the right people is hard. But when you find the right people, it's a dream to run the business, right?
Yeah.
So spend extra time on that and or maybe invest into some type of like training for your office manager. Like my
Yeah. I mean,
team, Dan, we have every Tuesday we have required training, and we have a professional trainer come in and train my whole team. It's required. They can't get out of it. It's it's required because it's that important for me to run my company because we run a certain methodology here at Boom Cloud, much like you guys run a certain methodology there at Wood River, right? So I don't know. That's a topic that I think we can spend a lot of time on. But it sounds like you
oh,
guys
it's a
did this morning.
podcast set. Yeah. I mean, that is one of the things that we do at Elevation Association
Yeah.
is that we work with office managers all the time and we essentially are training them on we provide the software, we provide the training. So because the reality is that most of the docs don't have the bandwidth to be, that isn't somewhere that the docs should be bogged down into anyway.
Yeah.
That it's something that the office manager should be aware of. But as the owner, you should be, as the CEO or the president of your
Yep.
practice of the company, you should be aware of the what's happening under the roof, right? And so
Absolutely.
if you've got these habits and or a lack of systems, a lack of protocols, if you haven't established that, you have to assume that your office manager is breaking both of those commandments. You
Yeah.
just have to assume it because why wouldn't they? Like,
Well, so let's ask this. So I'm a dentist. Not really, but fake.
sure.
Dr. Comstock is like, yo, Dan, how do I even know if this is happening in my practice? How do I know if they're zeroing things out? Like, help me understand where to look.
Yeah, so the red flag would be when we run, you would need to bring you would either need to have someone that's super savvy with an analytics program like your dental intel, your practice by numbers or whatever.
Sure.
Super savvy with that. The other thing you can do is the easiest thing to do is just set up a growth report with us. We can see it, we can
Okay.
flag it right away. Like it
Really?
really, oh yeah, yeah. We look at it. So it's one of the things that we look for. And so we can see like what you would see, the number one KPI that would red flag this is that if your write-off amount is super low and you're in network with a lot of
Got it. So when you're looking at your write-off amount at the end of a month or a quarter, and it's like it's low,
it's 2%. And
yeah, then you're like, okay, we're zeroing out
yeah.
98% of treatment
Yeah, because the reality is when
or
we get
write-offs.
granular, when we get super granular on the KPIs with write-offs, as we start to break those down, we can do it by insurance. Like we can actually take and break it down by insurance company. And we encourage this because part of the exit strategy we talked about last time is to go through and analyze your relationship with each of the companies and then assess the effect they're having on your practice. So we can even get more granular and do it by code. We can actually look and see how much you're writing off percentage wise per dental code. And it is not
Interesting.
uncommon. Yeah, you can get so granular. It's not easy to do on your own, but we've
With
built
all the
out the
codes, yeah.
systems that do this. What we find is that there's certain codes in certain areas. So we'll stay with Utah. All right. So let's say you're practicing in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Um, under insurance, certain insurance companies with specific codes, we're seeing as much as 50, 60, 70% write-offs to the point where when we do the
Jeez.
cost analysis on those, they're actually losing money. So,
Yeah,
like,
dude, I remember even 10 years ago, the dental lab, a dentist called me. He's like, especially with dentures, um, we need you guys to could you drop your fees for this patient because they're on this PPO plan, and if we can't get our costs down low enough, we're gonna lose money with all the with this denture case. And I'm like, you signed the PPO contract. I didn't. Right? That's essentially what caused my frustration in the industry, right? Because we'd have practices all the time calling and saying, "Can you drop your fees because I'm in network?" I'm like, "No, I've got my
yeah,
costs. I
well,
got to cover
yeah,
them."
like Idaho Medicaid, Medicare, if you're a general office, you're getting crushed. Like, but if you're
Well,
in
yeah. Did you?
Alaska, you're you're awesome, you know?
So
So
it's market based.
yeah, it is market based. And you have that's why I say it's you can't and I want to be really clear on that that it's very specific to your zip code.
Yes.
Even within, yeah, we're kind of picking on Utah right now, but even within Utah, there's
Poor
certain zip
Utah.
codes
Yeah.
that, yeah, poor Utah. Um, you know, it, so you just it's important that you look at it the overall picture. It's good to look at what's happening across the board, but you really need to get granular within your own practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So getting those numbers and understanding what's happening is so important. But yeah, the big red flag is that at the end of the day, if you look and you are an 80% in-network office, 80% of
And
your
there's
patients,
3% write-offs.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah, and you're writing off
Okay.
if your write-offs are less than 25% and you are that heavy into
There we go.
PPO,
Okay, that's really good. That's a red flag.
that's a red flag because typically you're not going to operate. You're going to write off. So our target at Wood River Dental, to give you an idea,
Yeah.
our target out of network, we are fee for service.
Uh-huh.
So as a fee for service practice, however, we do have a patient benefit plan,
Yeah, that helps with write-offs.
right? And I have to be careful with giving out percentages and stuff because people take them and they run with them and apply them in ways they
It's like
shouldn't.
chill out. This is just
Yeah.
our
So
practice specific.
there's a lot that goes into creating your patient benefit plan, as we know. We've talked a
Yes.
lot about that. Um, but we offer, and this is the number I want everyone to be careful with. Don't go apply this to your own practice until you talk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
somebody.
yeah, yeah.
But we offer a 20% write-off
Yeah.
across discount across the board, right?
Yeah.
So we say if you are a member, then you get 20% off all fees and services. So we expect, but the thing is that we get our annual membership dues as well that
Yeah,
offset that
there's a give
cost.
to get. Yeah.
So
You
our target
you give me an annual subscription, I give you a discount. Yeah, it's a
yes,
give to get is what I call it.
yep. And so what that ends up being is our target write-off amount, and this is overall, includes our charity work, this includes everything, family, the friends and discount, all that stuff,
Yeah,
employee work. Um, our yearly goal is 15 to 16% write-offs. So
sure. The average goal.
yes, that's where we want to be.
Because
And that's
you
fee
have
for
20
service,
you have 20% write-offs from the benefit plan, and then you got, 10% write-offs from friends and family or whatever you do. So it evens out to 16%
yeah.
is
The
okay.
big place where you get it back is in your dues, in your membership dues,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So
absolutely. Because
so,
not
so that's
100%
going
of
to offset your write-offs a lot,
well, not 100% of people too are utilizing every
right?
benefit on the plan. So, but they're generating revenue, is what we see
Exactly.
all the time. No, that's really interesting. So here's a question I have around all this is, okay, you got all these practices zeroing their stuff out, um, and or just matching the whatever the insurance reimburses, which is dangerous. When a practice does this right, what is the typical write-off you're seeing in a heavy PPO practice? Like how much revenue, what percentage are you seeing in that scenario?
So it depends on the region. It's
Sure.
heavily dependent on the region.
Yeah.
If you go down to places like Arkansas, if you go to
Okay.
Oklahoma, the South tends to be their insurance is kinder down there actually, and overhead is way
It's the
less.
Bible Belt. That's why,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, Jesus wants us to be
yeah.
kind.
That's right. Yeah, play. Basically, the more rural you get, that it kind of gets better. So yeah, rural
Interesting.
Pennsylvania, places like Alaska. You can probably expect to be, if you're heavy PPO, you should expect to be writing off in that 20 to 30%.
Okay.
Uh, and that's a pretty general number, and I get it, 10% is a big spread, but
Yeah.
if you're going,
It's in ranges, it sounds like in every market then.
yeah, it's highly dependent on your region. If you get into some of the areas that are abused by insurance, places like Utah, that's Idaho is abused by insurance, California
Mm.
is abused by insurance in some
Yes,
ways.
big time.
Um, then you're going to probably be in that upper 25 to 30% pretty consistently. Um,
What's the worst you've seen
33, 35, somewhere in
on
there.
average? Okay.
Yeah. And that's um
A big danger
unfortunately,
zone?
that's not super uncommon. It's not like those are a little bit of outliers. I don't want to lump them into the
Yeah, sure.
the average, but certainly we can see them that high depending on that has a lot to do too with um, if they're Medicaid, Medicare, that
Got
that
it.
can
Yeah.
that can be really brutal. If you
Which they just had a big data breach. I don't know if you read about that.
No, I didn't even know.
The government. Yeah, it's
Yikes.
like, okay, that's another reason why you should reduce dependence on major programs out there because if they get hacked and today in today's AI environment, like hacking is a huge problem. It's just
Oh yeah,
compounding. So it's like you got these old agencies, government agencies that don't really update their security as much as they should, especially in this environment today, in this tech environment. And boom, they get hacked and social security numbers are leaked, the practice owners, social security, patients, all that. And that's government. Right. So it's like, yeah, we should probably get away from these big institutions because
oh
they're
my
massive
gosh.
targets. In addition
Yeah,
to all the write-offs and the financial issues, like that's another layer of issues that they can bring.
totally. Yeah.
So, um, okay, so it's about 20 to 30%, 35% on the high end. What type of revenue is that? Like monthly write-offs. I know there's ranges, not everyone's like $1 million practice, right? But
Well,
like,
yeah. And so that's going to be directly tied to what your overhead is. So
sure.
now we're talking about, now we're shifting gears into where we're seeing a big problem in the industry right now. And that's that we've seen a sharp incline in overhead costs. So we started off the show talking about the decrease in median income.
Income. Yep.
And
Overhead.
yeah, overhead. So since COVID, if we look over the past 6 years and we go back to COVID, what the market is showing is a marked increase in staffing costs is one of the
Yeah.
primary hits, but also labs and supplies has gone up significantly.
Yeah,
So
everything goes up because manufacturing. I mean, yeah, my whole family's still in the lab business, so I know how they've been impacted too with manufacturing and supplies there that increase.
absolutely.
Everything is increasing, right?
And those
Especially with uh tariffs and stuff that hit. Like the labs are
yep,
being hit the hardest in the dental space, right? Because they're dealing with a lot of supplies that come from overseas and things like that.
yep, we're seeing and things like your services costs have gone up. So,
Yeah.
to have your technician come out and service your chairs and
Oh, sure, yeah.
your hand pieces and stuff like that. We've seen that go. So in general, we've seen anywhere, and again, it depends on the a bit on the region, but on the high side of staffing, we've seen an increase up to almost 24%, 25% increase since
Holy
2020.
smokes. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and overall, we've seen an increase. The average is about 14 to 15% increase in, again, that's a variable number depending on some factors, but we can kind of apply it as a general rule across the board in our overhead operating costs. So, yeah,
Mm,
we're feeling it. I think that
yeah.
everybody in the industry is feeling it. And here's the sucky thing is that if you're a private practice owner, you don't have the leverage that a corporate or a DSO has.
No.
They have the ability to now go and this
They have
you should
price
okay.
power, yeah.
Yeah,
Pricing
and
power.
you should belong to if you're a private practice, you should belong to a GPO like Best for Dentistry.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. You pay a couple $100 a month to save a lot of money a month, right? And
Yeah.
so I get it. For whatever reason, as small practice owners have a really hard time with the concept of spending money to make money or
I think
spending money to save money.
Mark Costi's has his too. That's a GPO type style where they get discounts and things like
Yep.
that,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Which
And
is there's a bunch of them around.
there's options out there. And
Yeah.
so you go out and look for one, but you should be part of a GPO. Now,
Yeah.
your supplies is only a part of your overhead. Where we're seeing
Well, it's
people
like
get
what percentage, right? Like, is it 5% of the
Yeah,
overhead?
we actually have an entire spreadsheet that we can share. That's one of you brought up Mark. One of Mark's big things is overhead and overhead control.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we have
Which
very
even in
similar.
my business, Dan, like overhead, like controlling overhead, like I had wage inflation hit a couple of years ago. It was the
Yeah,
worst thing in the world, and I had to figure out how to control it and reduce it and figure out it was a nightmare. So I can't imagine, and I'm working on my business every day. I'm not in like a dentist, maybe he's in the chair, right? He or she's in the chair every day. So I don't know how much time each day a practice owner works on the business versus in the business. You know what I'm
right.
talking about, right? That's the
Oh
E-Myth
yeah,
Revisited type stuff.
yep,
That's a great book. E-Myth Revisited. It talks about how to work on your business and how to, if you're working in the business and how to transition between the two. Fantastic book. But yeah, that's really interesting and a big challenge. So how do you overcome all this? What's the
yeah. So I
solution?
mean, it's not easy.
No.
It's the short answer is it's not easy, right? And
Yeah.
so regarding overhead, that's something that's going to affect you, period, whether you're in network, out of network,
Yeah.
whatever. So getting that under control is massive, and you should be doing internal audits on this. I just to tell you guys, we're happy to share industry standards as far as overhead breakdown. We can give you all of that and show you where a healthy amount is. We base ours off of the Kane Waters
Oh
benchmark.
yeah. Cane water is great. Yeah.
So we do tweak them a little bit and given where you are. But
in your zip codes.
yeah,
Yeah.
geographically where you sit.
So Kane Waters probably
Um,
gives you a good standard industry benchmark, but then you apply it to a zip
Yeah,
code.
yeah. But yeah, in general, I mean, start there, start with that, get a report and do an internal audit of your overhead. Start to break down like, oh my gosh, where are we in the red? Wages are going to be a big part of it. We've seen a sharp increase in hygiene wages. That's again COVID related. This is a totally different podcast, but if you're getting crushed on hygiene wages, we highly recommend looking into the part-time model for that.
Okay.
We can talk about that at a different time, but there's a part-time model that is very effective to help control some of that. Assisted hygiene is another thing that you can look at that,
Yeah, sure.
maybe that's something that will fit your practice. So start there, start looking again, join a GPO, get your supplies down. A lot of labs are a part of GPOs that you can get
Yeah.
your cost down with labs. Start to you should be
I
also,
think, Dan, we're even part of a couple of GPOs to help practices get discounts
yeah,
on
talk to Jordan.
utilizing Boom Cloud and things like that. We even have like a mini like we have well, we're building an internal marketplace within Boom Cloud. So if you use Boom Cloud, we're actually negotiating with some of our vendors that want to be in our marketplace. So it's like it just comes with the Boom Cloud fees, kind of what we're building into Boom. It hasn't launched yet, but that's one thing that I'm working on. It's like, okay, how can we help more practices get some of the services that I believe in practice management, operations, that I think we can help them save some money there. But yeah, there's a lot of programs out there for practices.
Yeah, and regarding overhead, I mean, there are a lot of programs that are out there that you can get involved in to help to lower your and assess and lower your overhead. And I think it's important to, again, this is a place where you probably want someone to come in and help you to understand your P&L, help you to, meet with your accountant, meet with your bookkeeper. P&Ls are freaking messes, by the way. Every time we
In
get into
dentistry,
some, oh my gosh, dude, there's no there nothing is standardized. So everybody kind of mixes their P&L and every bookkeeper does it their own, and it's a
well,
proverbial
it's probably
chunk
not.
drawer.
It's probably yeah, because like I obviously have a profit and loss statement for Boom Cloud, and I have a bookkeeper that works for me, and it's super simple,
It's not.
super straightforward.
We get into some of these and we're like, what are they talking?
Yeah.
Why is this in marketing? Why is this be like what?
So they're just not categorizing things correctly.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah, and it's
sloppy.
exactly. And when you do
Yeah.
that, then it's really hard to benchmark anything because it's like,
Interesting. Yeah, we're
so
like I review my books with our bookkeeper once a month. And it's clean. It's clean. It's like, oh yeah, yep, that's exactly how much we spent on marketing. That's exactly how much we spent on promotions or whatever. It's just clean, right? And
well, and
easy.
the thing that you just hit on there without saying it is that when it's presented to you, it makes sense to you, you understand it.
Yeah, yeah. Also, at the dental lab days when I managed my dad's dental lab, his profit loss statement was wacky, right? It was hard to read, and I early on in my 20s, I paid uh, an accountant to teach me how to read all the financial documents in a business so that I could help my dad because my dad again back with like E-Myth revisited type concepts, my dad is a technician that owns a business and he's not necessarily a
Businessman who's a
is
technician.
exactly right, and I'm the opposite. I'm a businessman who I'm not a technician. Like I'm not in my business, I'm not in the code base writing code, or
Right.
I'm directing and strategizing, all that stuff, right? So early on in my career, I learned how to read financial docs in a business. So because that was my challenge, my dad's dental lab was run probably very similar to a dental practice where it was like, wait, it's saying that we spent money here, but I don't the categories are off. Like this is not making any sense whatsoever. So yeah, when I get a profit and loss statement at the end of each month to review the previous month, it's a quick maybe 15, 20 minute review. with my bookkeeper. He may have some questions to clarify the categories and stuff. Um, but then it's like, yep, that's clean. I can see exactly what happened, and it's easy. It should be easy, right? So is it because most people don't have bookkeepers and they're just kind of winging it? I don't know.
No,
What do you
I think
see?
more that it's they don't have finance meetings. I think
Got
that
it. Okay.
I think that
I
we
have,
have to have bookkeepers, and we have, even if it's your brother doing your bookkeeping, or your brother that's
but
your
your brother
accountant.
may not know exactly all the categories because or whatever, right? Because that can get pretty there's a lot of transactions happening in the practice,
Yeah.
much like in my business, right? So it's like if you're not reviewing like what I do each month with my bookkeeper, reviewing, having a financial meeting and reviewing and being like, oh, this is actually that category, that's this category, or if he has questions, I answer them, and then it makes my accountant's life easy when he does taxes at every quarter, right? It's like, okay, now my accountant can read this and has a clear picture of my business and no questions, which is what you want, like. You don't want to spend too much money on all that stuff, but it's really important to get some help there.
Well, and okay, so there's an underlying issue with all this. And I love talking psychology, and it's one of
Yeah.
I like understanding how people's minds work. So the underlying issue, we go back to this concept of bandwidth that I've talked about it probably ad nauseum. Um, because I feel it all the time.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of bandwidth that an owner doc has, especially if you're an owner doc,
Yeah,
right?
working on the business versus working
Working
in the
on the
business.
business.
Like,
Yeah,
what is that? Yeah.
hanging up the handpiece, stepping into the CEO role.
Yep. Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you've done 40 hours or 32 hours of clinical time, you're pretty fried, and those weekends become very
Yeah.
sacred time, right?
Yeah.
And so to go and to build out an additional, X amount of hours to go and do administrative work it asks a lot. And
It sounds painful after a long
it
week.
is. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, and here's the psychological pitfall in there, is that ambivalence will take over, right? And ambivalence should be a key word. It should kick you, it should be a spur in your side a little bit if you hear that. And I use it on purpose. And it's not that you don't give a crap. That's not what I'm talking about. It's that you don't care to the point of it's not hurting, I'm not going to do anything. So this
Mm.
is a big trap that dentists fall into, is that their income is good enough and it's high enough because dentistry is a beautiful and wonderful profession,
Yeah.
that they make enough that they are financially comfortable. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say comfortable.
They're in the comfort zone, which is
They're
also
in the
the
comfort
danger
zone.
zone.
Right. So comfort zone is the danger zone. And the
Yeah.
reason that it's dangerous is that ambivalence will take over in the comfort zone. And until
Mm.
something hurt, and we see this, I mean, obviously, I'm in the consulting game, for heaven's
Yeah.
sakes, right?
Sure.
Like, who comes and talks to us? People when it's hurting,
When it hurts. Yeah. Yeah. When they're in
the
pain. Help me,
yeah,
doctor. I'm in pain.
yep, exactly. The level of, and the irony of that,
Same with
right,
patients,
is,
right?
yeah,
Help me,
exactly.
doc. I'm in pain.
That's the irony of it, is that we deal with that ambivalence every freaking week.
There's no preventative care program for the business side.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, right? Because
that is funny.
we treat constantly the
And,
ambivalent patient.
yeah, and you also preach preventative care, preventative
Yeah,
care, preventative.
preventative,
We gotta get you
preventative,
on the
preventative.
preventative care program,
Right.
but there's no preventative care program for the business side.
Exactly. And
Damn.
that's
Yeah.
really where we've tried to focus at EA. And one of my missions that really feeds me as a person is to build out a business preventative care program
Yeah.
for a doc and for
Yeah.
their office, right? And keep things running smoothly so
That's
that
good.
the ounce of prevention, it applies to business as well. But
Yeah.
it just seems to get missed. And so what will happen is that they, because of the bandwidth problem,
Yeah.
and because
Uh,
of the comfort zone, when you combine those two things, you end up getting very complacent about having your finance
Interesting.
meetings. You don't know where your P&L sits. You don't know where overhead is. You don't give a flying flip that your front
Hmm.
office is zeroing things out and that they are adjusting their fees down to
Because you're
match
like, I'm
whatever's.
comfortable, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm making
I'm
X amount
making
of
some
dollars
money.
a year and I'm good. And I've got my boat and we go and I take my kids out in in my new truck and I pull my boat to the lake on the weekends and we go and we do that and we're good. And we take our family trip to,
Hawaii.
Hawaii, every year.
Yeah.
This is a thing, and this is going to sound familiar. And there's going to be people listening to this, docs listening to this, and they're going to be like, that Dan's a freaking jerk. Like, I hate that he's pointing me out right now because that is a profile that fits more dentists than you can imagine. And I get it. Like, believe me, I practice all the time. I can appreciate living in the comfort. That's the goal, is to
Yeah.
get into the comfort zone where we're
Yeah,
happy and
right?
like
Yeah.
comfortable. But there
Just make
is a
sure you've got that preventative care business program.
exactly. As long as you
Yeah.
have the preventative business plan in place, yes. I think that you just hit the key is like live in that comfort zone for sure, but you're going to have to do some work to get that preventative business plan into place and
Eh,
make sure that you are now getting the things done that, yeah, it's going to take a little bit more out of your bandwidth. But for us, like Jared and I, when we looked at it, we're like, we're taking 2 hours every Monday out of our clinical time to work on the business. And so we have meetings
Great.
on Monday mornings for 2 hours a day. And then,
So real disciplined with with your calendar.
yeah,
You got to
yeah,
be as a dentist, I would
you
imagine.
have to be. And it's okay. And this
Yeah.
principle is slow down to speed up. And you can.
Very true. Yeah. Oh, this has been really good. Okay. I gotta jump to a lunch appointment. So this has been an awesome episode. I think it's been really good. Median income issues, reimbursement issues, uh, all the key takeaways here, bookkeeping with write-offs, and what were your two? Just to recap, your two commandments,
The great commandments,
the great commandments from
the
Dr. Nelson. Yeah,
the not as great but still great commandments. It's the thou
yeah.
shalt not zero out any treatment codes or procedures. And the
Okay.
second one is thou shalt not adjust your fees to match that of the insurance companies ever.
Fantastic. And you have there's 12 of these that you preach?
No, there's the
Okay,
10
just
normal commandments, and
let's
then there's the two other.
got it. Got it. I got it. That was
The,
you mentioned that. I'm like, "Oh, he's got 12."
yeah,
Well,
no,
closer
I
to
don't.
12 of them, but you're talking
No,
about the
God
10
has
plus the
10,
2.
we
Got
have
that.
two. Yeah, that's why they're not as great.
Yeah,
They're still
yeah,
great, but
they're
not
still
as great.
great. That's funny. No, fantastic, dude. This has been awesome. Last question. Um, a- and this is not regarding the topic. Are you going to go to Dr. Mark Costi's summit here in the next month or two? Next month?
We were just talking with
I
Mark,
just
and
got a text message that popped up on my computer about it, so that's
yeah,
why.
we're bummed out that we're not going to be there. We love
Oh,
going to
dang it.
that.
He
So
has he has Gino Wickman
I,
speaking for
dude,
EOS, which
I
is
know.
amazing.
Trust me. Jared was visibly upset when we got the text. And the reason is that we're presenting at the Dentist Money Summit for the
Oh,
dentist
that's the same
advisors.
week.
It's the same week. And so
Yeah,
Mark
so
was
just
like, he's like, I gotta quit getting these scheduled the same week that they do theirs. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
you do.
just to give a shout out to our buddy Mark. Plus, I'm helping promote his event because we're homies. Gino Wickman is he writes EOS, which is Entrepreneurial Operating System, helps business owners operate I use EOS here at BoomCloud to operate my business, and it's very common.
It's the
Uh,
basis from which we built EAOS.
yeah,
It's the
is
framework.
runs similar. Yeah, it's Mark's event is let's see in Frisco,
Frisco, Texas.
Texas. I don't know the dates. Is it June something?
Hang on, I can
Um,
tell you.
yeah, I just got the
It is
text.
June. It is, I can tell you exactly when it is. It is June
It has it on the first there. I
11th and
see.
12th, or 11th through 13th, I think, or 12th through 13th.
Yeah, those dates. Mark gave me a promo to give to people that listen to the podcast and our Boom Cloud customers. So I'll email that out and I'll put that in the show notes too for just to shout out Mark. He's a good friend of both of ours. I'll probably be there as a guest hanging out with Mark. I usually do that. So no Top Golf this year, huh, man? I was
Yep,
hoping
no
we could
Top
do
Golf, dude. I
Top
know,
Golf
I
in
know, I
Texas.
know. It's just,
All
I do
right.
have to give a shameless plug for our couple summit.
Yes, do that as well.
Yeah, so next
When
February
is your
we're putting the
okay?
package together right now. We went to Dominica this last year,
Yeah,
or this year, and we were in Nicaragua the year before. It's looking like we're probably going to go to Central America again in 2027.
cool.
But just stay tuned on our website. We'll have an update hopefully in the next
Give
week
me
on the
the let's
location.
put the website in the show notes too, and then as you get closer,
Yeah,
I'll
man.
share it with our email and podcast lists, so you guys can have a good turnout there.
Brad. Yeah.
Okay, well, with I think this has been an awesome episode. With that said, we hope everybody has a rocking day.
Later.